Aloha and welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering the final rifle stage, Caboose Run. And while I say it's the final rifle stage, don't forget, there was a whole other day that was shotgun pistol, so we have more stages to come after this. So don't worry, the coverage is going to continue. Now, Caboose Run. Trains in Hawaii? I guess so, maybe at one time, but whatever. They had a great caboose prop, and we used it, and it was awesome. Now, what did you have to do on this stage? This stage was divided amongst two bays. You started off using your pistol in the first bay. Once you engaged all the pistol targets, you ditched it and then went over to the caboose and engaged the target array there. Let's talk in depth about what you had to do on each one. So when you start off with the pistol array, you had a big sheet of black plastic in front of you. You couldn't see any of the targets. And just at random points in the plastic, a hole was cut. One was about eye level, another one was knee high, another one was kind of mid between eye level and knee high, and one way up that you must have had to have been like 8 feet tall to actually use. And out there you had a series of targets. You had a bunch of static steel, you had some knockdown steel, and you had a Texas Star. And through any one hole you couldn't see anything, so you had to come up with your strategy of how you were going to engage these targets only by what you could see through the little hole. And by little I mean like a square, like about yay big, just about that, and you couldn't just go up like a VTAC and put your muzzle to it, and no, you couldn't do that. There was a fault line about 3 feet back. So, even at full extension of your firearm, you still had a few feet between you and the hole, so you had a really narrow view of what you could see. So you had to be searching, moving around, getting some pretty uncomfortable positions to find 15 pieces of steel back there, 5 of which were on a Texas Star. Once you engaged all the steel in that array, you ditched it into your pistol into a bucket, and then you hauled butt around to the other bay where the caboose was. And then when you climbed up on top of the ladder, you had a series of targets in front of you. And one of the things the video doesn't show too well is that you had the target, which was an IPSC style target, but it had another IPSC target over it as a no-shoot, and that came up to about this level. So you had the head and shoulder level basically as a shootable target that you could engage, and the rest was a no-shoot covered by another head and shoulder, another IPSC target. So you had to be real careful getting your shots off there. And also there were 2 targets down low, like somebody kneeling, and the only way to engage them was under the caboose. There were a few guys that did manage to get those targets from the top of the ladder, but man, they were really hanging far out over, and that was a little bit farther bridge than I was willing to go. But it was a super exciting stage. You had a lot of physical dexterity going on in this, and you had to think about what you were doing. Let's take a look and see how this went down. Are you ready? Stand by. Okay.
Easy on that trigger. There you go. You got it. You already got that one.
Motherfucker, go down.
Easy on the trigger. Got it.
it. That's all I got. Reload.
Last two. Okay.
All right, that was my run. Nothing particularly spectacular about my performance there. Let's break this down. Now, part of the problem is the heat has really gotten to me at this point. While waiting for my turn to shoot this stage, I had expended the last of my water. I was starting to get dehydrated. Matter of fact, I was dehydrated to the point that when I was aimed in on the pistol targets, I really wasn't getting a clear sight picture. My vision was getting blurry. On top of that, I had no presence of mind from the last stage, so I hadn't even topped off all my pistol mags. So you see at one point in the run, go through the first mag, go through the second mag, and on the third mag, there was only 2 rounds left. So I had to leave some targets unengaged and take the penalties for that. When I ran over to the Caboose going up that ladder, I felt super unsteady. So as you notice, as I went up, I'm going slow, and I'm coming down slow, and even then, my vision's a little blurry there once I lay down. That you see a significant delay between when I get in position and when I engage the targets, and the targets are under the Caboose about 6 feet away, and with a carbine, that's kind of easy point and click interface kind of thing, you know. So the heat had really gotten me there. And it affected me on the rifle side too, because out of an abundance of caution with the brightness of the sun, it was hard to see your bullet impacts on the target. So I put 2 rounds on each one, even though your chance of getting it in one shot was pretty good, because you really only had the head exposed, and if you got a headshot, you only needed 1 round. And that worked against me because I put 2 rounds in each target, and on 2 of the targets, I hit the no-shoot. And the RO that was with me at the time said, yeah, it was your second round each time that did it. So if I'd have just stuck with 1 round to the head, I'd have came out a little bit better on this stage than I did. This stage was a really fun one. I wish I had done this earlier in the day before fatigue and heat exhaustion started to catch up with me, but then maybe not, because all the other stages were challenging too, and I might have done better on this one and worse on another one. It's hard to predict, but it was a blast. And stay tuned, because the blasting's not done yet. Well, the first day ended, and one of the cool things that you could do with the 2-gun Luau is you had a choice. You could shoot just the rifle pistol part of the shoot, or you could shoot just the shotgun pistol part of the shoot. You weren't required to shoot both days. This first day ended with 61 shooters. I came in 37th. I could have done a lot better, but there's always tomorrow, and let's see how that went down.